Hello everyone and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I have some fun colorful cards for you guys, easy enough to mass produce. I have a lot of techniques to showcase in this one card. I will be ink blending, there's stamping, heat embossing, stenciling and even masking. Well, I have done masking without using any kind of masking sheets. All you'll need is some post-it notes or some sticky notes. These are single dimensional cards. I have not used any kind of foam tapes here. You will see that these also come with matching envelopes. A set of these can be easily gifted to your family or your loved ones. Well, before we get started, I would love for you to become a subscriber to my channel, and if you do subscribe, make sure to hit the bell icon so that you don't miss the next time I post. Let us first take a look at the stamp sets that I will be using in today's video. I have this Sunshine Flower stamp set by Simon's Stamp, from which I will be using the sunflower, and a sentiment which says wishing you an abundance of beautiful moments from the Sunflower Garden, which was part of the Stamptember 2021. I stamped and heat embossed the sunflower and the sentiment using VersMark Ink and Ranger's Black Detail Fine Embossing Powder. Next we will do the masking and ink blending. For that, I need to make sure that my card panel is aligned perfectly to my craft mat. I am using some purple tape to hold the card panel in place so that it doesn't slide away when I am ink blending. Now, let's create our mask. For this, I am taking the post-it notes. Any size would work here. All we need to make sure is that they have one edge with a low-tack adhesive. Here, I align the sticky note to the left edge of the card panel, leaving a 2-inch mark. I made sure that my sticky note was aligned straight. Since this note was smaller than my A2 panel, I went ahead and added a second sheet of sticky note. To make a straight line mask, I did the same thing on the right hand side of the card panel. Now to make sure that these sticky notes stay in place while I'm ink blending, I taped them up together using some painter's tape. Well, I did try using the painter's tape for masking, but the adhesive on it was too strong. It would just rip out a layer of our card panel. So, sticky note it is. I will be ink blending this card panel using shades of pink. I am using the Simon's Stamp Pawsitively Saturated Ink Trio. Here we have 3 shades: Taffy, Sweets and Bubblegum. I will start with the lightest shade from the bottom of my card panel. Also, note that for all of my ink blending, I am using the Simon's Stamp Pawsitively Everything tool. This silicone mat is perfect to hold your ink pads in place while stamping or ink blending without being worried about your ink pads sliding around. I started ink blending with the shade Bubblegum. You will see as I transition to the next shade, which is slightly darker than the previous one, the blending is so seamless. There are no harsh lines at all. That's the beauty of these Simon's Stamp Pawsitively Saturated inks. They blend in too perfectly. Once I was done with the ink blending, I took my mini spray bottle and sprayed a mist of water onto the ink blended border. And then I blew off any of the excess water using a small piece of paper towel. I can now slowly remove the mask. Look how beautiful this ink blended background looks and how neat the edges are. I will keep the purple tape onto the panel since I have to do some stenciling. Here I am using the Flowing Drop stencil from Altenew, definitely one of my favorite stencils. The beauty about this stencil pattern is that you can place it in any orientation, you just get amazing results each time. Well, I used the same set of pinks to create a gradient down the panel. Here you could cover the entire panel using the stenciled image, but I chose to do some partial stenciling, where I added color to only some parts of the card panel, making sure I follow the color gradient of my ink blended strip. Here's a look at the finished front panel. I did cut it down slightly smaller than an A2 size card using the Spellbinder's A2 size dies. We can now adhere it onto a black pre-folded card base. I'm using some strong double-sided tape to adhere the panel onto the card base. To add some shine to our card, I'm using some Nuvo drops in the shade Bubblegum Blush. I like to test the Nuvo drops before I add them to my card. For this, I will take a slight drop onto a paper towel before I use it on my card panel. Here's a look at the finished card. I will set this card aside for these Nuvo drops to dry while I work on creating an envelope for my card. Now, let's create a matching envelope for our card. I chose a similar shade of pink envelope and stenciled the pattern only on the flap of the envelope using the darkest shade of the ink trio. Here it's taffy. I love how beautiful this card pairs with the envelope. Here's a look at the finished card. Since this card was so easy to create, I went ahead and created the same in 3 more colors using all of the same exact techniques. I chose the Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated Ink Trios of browns, oranges and blues and paired them with matching envelopes. I had so much fun creating these cards. I hope you had fun watching it too and got inspired. All the supplies can be found linked in the description box below. I would love for you to become a subscriber to my channel, and if you do subscribe or are already a subscriber, please make sure to hit the bell icon so that you don't miss the next time I post. Hit the like button and let me know in the comments down below if you have any ideas or suggestions for our future videos. Also, if you like to share your creations, please tag me on my Instagram at rp_shutterbug. There's a link to that in the description box below. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe.